Hey guys, Josh here to let you know that InterBrews now has a Patreon page. That's right, you can lend your support to the podcast that's been going 7 years strong, bringing you the best and brightest of the craft beer scene here in Houston and beyond. And as a bonus, as a Patreon subscriber, you can get exclusive episodes of the show. That's right, we'll be doing some special interviews and episodes just for you, our supporters. So thank you so much. If you've loved the show, which I hope that is you if you're listening, then head on over to patreon.com/interbrews or interbrews.com/Patreon or anywhere you see the link. Head on over and lend us your support so that we can keep bringing you the show and make it bigger and better than ever. We appreciate it. Now, on to the show.
The following is a presentation of Stewed Productions.
Hello, I am Andy Dunn from the Walking Stick Brewing Company, and you're listening to InterBrews.
This is InterBrews.
Yes, he is. Andy, welcome into the show.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Josh. Mike.
Good job over there pushing them buttons to get everything rolling.
I know, right? First episode of the new year.
Yeah.
Would you believe that we planned it out to do episode 190 as the first episode of 2019? So there's a 19 and 19.
Nice.
I didn't plan that out. It just happened to be that way. But anyway, that's what we're doing. So Andy, thanks for letting us come down and set up in your brew house here.
My pleasure.
Walking Stick, we're here. This is great. I've been cyber stalking y'all for a while.
It makes us happy.
Yeah, watching the construction, watching the all the updates. So, it's always exciting to watch somebody's passion project and everything come together, and then finally get to be in the middle of it. So, first, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for letting us be here. And let's get into the conversation, because we took the tour. We got to see everything. We saw the beers. We're going to open those in just a second, which I'm super excited about. And all right, so we're here now in the brew house. This wasn't the brew house all that long ago.
No.
It was a piece of land in the heart of Houston, Texas, that had a much different
That's right.
beginning. So how did we get to this point? Where do you want to start? Let's start at the very beginning.
Sure.
Where are you from originally?
I grew up in Colorado.
Okay.
Spent most of my life there and went to college at CU Boulder.
Okay.
And
Go Buffs.
That's right.
Go Buffs.
We had a lot of fun, exploring the mountains as I grew up. My father was a big hiker and skier and all that. And one of the things that's kind of unique about the state is there are 53 mountains that are over 14,000 feet in elevation. Mm-hmm. That's not Mount Everest, of course, which is 29,000 feet, but it's kind of a hard climb.
Yeah.
Some of them are very steep and technical, but there are plenty that are a day hike if you get up early. And so we did our fair share just growing up and through college. And in fact, one of our guys, Ramon, who helps here at the brewery, and myself went to college and ran track and cross country together. That's kind of how we met and grew up together. And then when I started doing this, talked him into coming over and helping with it. And one of our most vivid memories was actually running up Longs Peak, which is one of the 14ers, and one of the longer ones. It's about 16 miles total to do up to the summit and back down.
Wow.
To the trailhead. And we got a crazy notion that we should try and run up it and down it. And when we accomplished that goal, and when we got to the bottom, all we had in our backpack was a crushed peach. And we sat on this splintery picnic table and shared that peach. And I remembered that, and so one of our recipes is called the Longs Peach New England IPA.
Yeah.
And it's a juicy IPA with just a hint of peach in memory of running up Longs Peak with Ramon. So there you go.
It's a beautiful story. How often do you get back to Colorado?
I actually still have a home there.
Okay.
And family. And my parents are in their 90s, and I have kids there that are at CU Boulder.
Okay.
So I try and get back at least once a month to see them, just for a few times. You never know. Your parents get into their 90s, and you try and spend as much time with them as you can.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a challenge, but it's a quick hop from Houston to Denver. So,
Do you? I don't know. Does all of this time here at sea level affect your running your lungs for up there? Or I guess you're back pretty regularly.
yeah, I mean, you can feel it when you go up. Really, coming down from altitude, you don't really get much advantage. But when people go up, they struggle.
Yeah.
And we still spend we spend a fair amount of time snowboarding, my wife and I, and go up there. So we get up to some of the higher altitudes, and you can definitely feel the lack of oxygen when you go up for a couple of days before you adjust.
Yeah. I've been to Colorado once. I want to go back.
You should. There's a lot of good breweries there.
I know.
You probably got another 300 podcasts embedded in that city.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I need to get up there so bad. But yeah, beautiful. There's something about the mountains that's just. I can see why it inspired so much good beer and so many people to do some cool. It's just there's something about the visual and just I don't know. It's just clears everything away.
And it's nice to one of our goals is to bring some of that Colorado concept to Houston and mix it with the industrial vibe that we have here on this property, as well as just the city itself. I mean, I came here when I was working as a consultant at Deloitte and did a lot of work in energy and really fell in love with the people in the city and decided this is where I wanted to spend the rest of my life. And
So long you been down here?
off and on since the pre-Enron days, so 98.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So you've been here a while.
Like
you said, on and
here
off, right.
5 years, but in consulting, you pretty much get on an airplane on Monday and home on Friday.
Gotcha.
So I did the Houston shuffle for many years.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. Around here.
A lot.
So it's good for us though. Brings in a lot of good.
Those days done now. It's just brewery and getting back to Colorado every once in a while.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges with that lifestyle, and I just wasn't healthy and really overworked on stressful kinds of topics. And just one day, my wife and I play volleyball at Crowbar, and we across the street from this location, and it's a beautiful beach volleyball bar. And so we were just sitting out on the patio at the bar, and there was this for sale by owner across the street. And I just drank my beer and stared at the sign for a while and decided I should check it out and see if there's anything there. I had no idea what I was looking to do. I was still at Deloitte, and so I wandered over, and there's a 85-year-old fabricator who was being forced to sell because his wife said, "I'm fed up. You need to end your career as a fabricator, sell your property, and spend time with me." And he was amazing. He was very fit, and he didn't even use reading glasses, and he was known throughout the area as being the guy to go to for precision welding. So he wasn't physically ready to retire, but his wife was putting her foot down. So talked him into selling me the land and the cute little metal building that was sitting on it, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I just loved the look and the feel and the possibilities. And I thought, maybe it's a bar, maybe it's a beer joint, maybe it's a restaurant, maybe it's something else. I have no idea. Once I closed on it, then I started thinking more broadly that it just wasn't going to be satisfying for me to open a bar. I wanted something more from a manufacturing perspective, and I always had this fascination with the physical side of energy. I spent most of my time as a consultant more on the finance side, doing valuations of big energy assets using complex derivative pricing and other things. And I've thought that I would love to own a refinery, because every time we drive, down towards Galveston and drive by all those refineries, I'd just be fascinated with all the tanks and the activity going on, the pipes, and I thought that is so cool. I wish I was I wish I was a petroleum engineer and on the physical side rather than just sitting at a desk with a computer and running numbers. And I knew that I couldn't turn this place into a refinery, obviously, because it's too expensive and nobody wants craft gasoline, So it occurred to me that brewing beer is very similar to refining oil. You have various ingredients that you put in, you heat it up, you cool it down, you extract different elements of it, change the molecular structure of the liquid, and out the other end comes something spectacular.
Yeah.
And the tanks are fun and amazing to stare at, and the hoses and the pipes and the mechanical boiler and chillers and insulation. It's so fun and cool. So I migrated more towards the manufacturing and production element of what I wanted to do, and decided to build a brewery, a small little man cave, more than what I would call a brewery, but it's big enough to produce enough beer to serve the community and possibly distribute to restaurants and bars in the area. Okay. So that was my final idea. I bought the property in the beginning of 2016, and then really it took a year to really figure out what I wanted to do, and then find a general contractor and an architect to actually put it on a piece of paper. And took the city of Houston and my architect a year to figure out how to get approval to do it all. So beginning of 2018, we started building, and by September we had a brewery and started brewing beer. And we've been doing that since then, and figured out how to serve it in a temporary way on the back side of our property. And we have a nice little beer garden there, and have been serving on Fridays through Sundays for the last 6 weekends.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Yeah. So prior to deciding to open a brewery, did you dabble in home brewing or any of that kind of stuff?
No, not really.
Yeah.
In 2015, I started conceptually saying, this is what I think I want to do with it. And so I started and left Deloitte early 2016, and so I had plenty of time. So I started brewing, 3 or 4 times a week.
On where? Where were you brewing it?
I was brewing in my apartment in the Galleria.
Gotcha.
So, crafty, 5-gallon, 10-gallon. I bought 2 Grainfathers, which is a cute little system that it's like a coffee maker, all in one type stuff. And so it was relatively efficient to brew, and
Electric? No
it's
gas?
electric.
Yeah,
You can do it in your apartment. So I started it, and my goal was I wanted to develop English ales first. So I started working on a ESB, extra special bitter, and a porter, and probably brewed each one of those 40 times in the year.
Same recipe, just tweaking?
Well, I
whatever?
started with the concept. I want a porter and I want an ESB. And I started doing different combinations of grains, different yeasts, different hops combinations at different times. And so I was getting all sorts of different variants, and share with the friends and get some feedback, and ultimately settled on a couple of good recipes there. And then during the course of the year, I started adding others. I had friends that made suggestions. They said, hey, I just made this fantastic grapefruit IPA. You should check it out. And so I started working on a version of that. And I like the idea of having a couple of different IPAs. So my current IPAs that we're serving now is this grapefruit IPA that has the grapefruit zest added to a very hoppy, bitter IPA, which is a very nice combination of those two elements. And then my other one is a Witbier as a base that we've over-hopped. So it's sort of a Blue Moon-ish variant that's just more of a hoppier IPA.
Is that it's kind of white IPA-ish, I guess?
That's exactly what it is.
Those kind of came about a couple years ago. Like I remember they were kind of like for about five minutes. Everybody was like, "Oh, dude, white IPAs," and then it was like black IPAs, and then it was like then wherever we are now, it's like
right.
Put all.
I like it. I mean,
I love them.
There's a visual element to beer, and the combination of some of the darker malty ales that we have, and our white IPA, and we also have a Saison that's an easy drinker, that's light. You put them on a flight, and it's just very, very nice to see sort of different colors and obviously different flavors.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. The visual.
Yes.
That's the one place where an audio podcast falls short because the visual side of beer it's a big part of it, and seeing that flight.
I love it. And so, part of what we do, Ramon, my partner that is helping me, he just coincidentally at the time has a farm in Florida. And so when we were talking about this, we weren't ready to start brewing or anything. And so we came up with the idea of let's go craft vertical and learn as much as we can about the other elements of brewing. So he had a farm. We said, let's learn about hops.
Yeah.
And Florida State and some of the other universities down there were exploring ways of growing hops in that latitude, which is much further south than you typically expect. And so he leveraged off of some of the knowledge they had, and, put up some sample hop lines there and began growing hops there. We've got a hop line in our back beer garden area that we're going to start growing hops. And just, probably not get to the point where we have enough to supply what we need, but at least learn about that process as well as, brewing.
What varieties are y'all growing?
Like Citra,
the C's.
Yeah, pretty much. So, for the brewery here, growing them, the benefit is the aroma that you're going to get once they start putting their pods out. And
they're cool looking plant.
They're cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I grew some in the backyard for a little bit, and
it's not as easy to do as you might do in Oregon or Michigan or Northeast. But
how are they doing in Florida? Like, what are they?
They grow fast. They grow well. You get more growing seasons. So instead of like a single season, you're gonna get like 3, but they're gonna grow less because they only grow when it's sunny, and so you get less of a growth pattern.
So shorter,
but you get 3 cycles versus 1.
Okay, that's an interesting, like, as technology allows, like, talking about genetic engineering and just figuring out, like, getting hops that could grow in Houston and Florida and stuff.
I think it's cool.
It's real cool because, like, that's a whole nother thing that we.
And they have grapefruits, and we have need for grapefruit for our IPA, and they have coriander. They have all. And one of our other recipes that I haven't commercialized yet is a black and blueberry milk stout.
Oh yeah, that sounds.
And blackberries and blueberries in Florida are huge. So we grow all that stuff, and in addition to that, the whole concept of walking stick and wood and everything. He had a huge stand of 100-year-old oak trees, pecans, and so in his spare time, he basically cut down these trees, slabbed them, and those are going to be our bar tops in the tap room. And then we also use slices of them as our flight chargers, which I kind of got into this because the visual effect. We take a slice of a tree, put holes in it, and then put our tasting glasses in the holes, and that's how we serve our flights. And it's nice. It ties in the kind of outdoor walking stick concept.
Well, yeah, you have a couple beers and you sit there and count the rings.
That's right.
How much history? Think back, like when this
do that. That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, when this tree first popped up, what was going on? You said it was in Florida, right?
Yeah.
So could have been, who knows?
Hundreds of years. Some of these. Some of the pieces of wood, he cut down a tree that was hollow inside, and so we cut it into different heights for like bar tops where you could stand around it. And
that's cool.
One of the slices in our beer garden where you can lounge. We have a couple of lounge beanbag chairs that people can sit in and put their beer on this slice of wood that's hollow in the center.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah,
all
I saw
of
that.
It's just bringing the the outdoor mountainish feel to Houston is something we really wanted to do.
Yeah, I love that because Houston is so international and so like multicultural, and there's so many different people. Like I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Arkansas, and you come here and you're like, you think Texas is gonna be one way.
Yeah.
You're thinking like cactuses and cowboys and
yeah.
But you come here, like to Houston and it's like
it's completely different. Dallas is different. El Paso is different. It's a very wide-ranging elements in the state, which I love that about.
Yeah, but Houston invites that, bring in the outside, and then let's all mash it together.
Everyone's in energy, and they come here from all over the world.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Well, it is a craft beer podcast. We should
talk about.
We should
maybe have some.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
We'll pause for a moment while we pour them and set them up.
Good.
Yeah. So we got everything set up in the middle of the table.
Right. So I've got a set of crowlers here. We just took delivery of our Dixie a couple weeks ago and learning how to use it.
Yeah.
But what we have available, we brewed 10 times and we've focused on six of our beers. And they kind of go from lighter to darker and maltier, and then from less hoppy to hoppier.
Okay.
So I'll start with a Sunlight Saison. Sunlight is obviously named after Sunlight Peak in Colorado. It's in the San Juan range. And this is, your traditional Belgian farmhouse ale. So it's our goal is an easy drinker for those non-crafty people that wander in and still want to participate, would rather have a Budweiser or a Coors Light.
Yeah.
It's surprising how difficult it is to make a Coors Light and how long it takes.
Yeah.
So a farmhouse ale is nice and very mild and pleasant and tastes better to me than
Yes.
It's surprisingly, it's a style that a lot of brewers, it's one of their favorites that I've found.
To make? Thank you.
No, to drink.
Oh.
I mean, just like, that's it. You would think, these guys that do this for a living all day long for years and years and years, are like, oh, they must be into some, crazy, barrel aged,
big time stuff.
like aged on unicorn horn or something. But,
So you don't have to think all that. It's like I kind of overpoured you.
No, that's all right. That's fine.
No such thing.
No, I don't take it as a front.
Been a beer podcast. Yeah.
As an affront. And it smells
delicious.
4.8, right?
Yeah.
Was I say that? That's just
Pretty
that's,
much.
Yeah, that's I love that.
Don't quote me on that because, of course, you send your labels into the TABC and they tell you what your alcohol content is. But
Oh, okay. Oh,
they're all around 5 except for the Grapefruit IPA, which is kind of the 9% range.
Woo.
So we
Which one? Which one's the 9?
The grapefruit. The story. So we have these tulips, which we're drinking from now. Mm-hmm. And originally, I'm like, I really want a
fantastic.
proper English pint, and we've got some over there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 20-ounce glasses. They got the little British crown and everything. But our first day, our soft opening, all we had were basically 20-ounce glasses. Mm-hmm. And so we started serving all of the beers in these glasses, and the friends that started drinking only the Grapefruit IPA had some issues after the 2 or 3.
He's
so
like, thanks for inviting us. I heard it was a great time.
we needed to reduce the ounceage of that particular beer.
Yeah.
To keep them on track.
Just the grapefruit.
Yeah, just the grapefruit right now.
So that's going to get smaller.
This is like a 12 or 13 ounce glass versus 20. So, but if you want a proper pint of porter or ESB or pale ale, you're going to get it at the Walking Stick.
It's just super pleasant. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to put this
It's delicious.
super pleasant. That's my initial 3 or 4 sips.
Sunlight.
Like on a day like today, with that sun beaming down on your face a little bit.
All day.
All day.
It is.
Yeah.
It is very nice to sit out in the beer garden. Last weekend was amazing because it was 75 degrees.
Yeah, the warmer side.
And on Sunday, it wasn't actually that sunny. There's clouds rolling through, so people were very comfortable. We had a live band, and everyone just hung out, drank beer. We had a barbecue food truck that came in, and everyone ate barbecue and drank Sunlight.
That's pretty perfect. That's a perfect day.
It's one of the best days of my life.
Yes.
On the Saison, is there what like the grain bill? Is it all I don't know. There's a lot of variation. On Saison, some people put oats, some people wheat and barley, and I don't know. I've even heard rye in some.
Yeah, we wanted to keep it German-ish, Belgian-ish. So, German Vienna malt, some Carafoam, some 2 rows as the base grain.
Yeah.
I guess my goal here was for all my British ales, my Castle Pale Ale, my Porter, my ESB. This is we're going to use Maris Otter as your base grain, and then our IPAs and the Saison, we just use the American two-row, but then we augment that with the traditional German or Belgian grains for that, and then of course, typical light, easy drinker from a hops perspective, uses German Pearl, Saaz at various times of the boil.
Did you drink all yours already?
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's super drinkable. It is super
delicious.
Yeah. It's really good. Yeah, I want some. Trying to think what I want to eat with this. I think I just want
some pork ribs. Is pretty ideal. Actually.
Yeah, that would go for sure. But you could also do lighter fare as well, like just some I don't know
anything.
Yeah, I don't know, something crunchy.
Wiener Schnitzel.
Wiener anything. Yeah. Something. Yeah. Yeah, that is super. That's just that's
all day.
Just nice. What time is it? It's like 11:30. That's how.
Why couldn't you schedule this for 4:30 or something?
I could have, but
we wouldn't have showed up.
Right. Yeah, our day job is actually a night job. So
okay.
Yeah, that's why. It's like, why do you drink at 10:30 a.m.? Because
I don't know. I think everyone should. We're British focused, and right now it's early evening in London. So
yeah, it is 4:30, or I don't know what time. What are they? 6 hours ahead of us or something?
I don't know.
7?
So yeah, 6 hours.
6.
So it's almost evening.
Yeah,
the pubs are back open after their lunch break.
So we are drinking it. We did schedule it at 4:30, London Standard Time.
There you go.
So the second beer we have is Castle Pale Ale. It's named after Castle Peak in the Elk Mountain range of Colorado. It's got a red and yellow tint to it.
Okay.
Because my favorite beer when I was in the United Kingdom was the Bass Pale Ale.
Mm-hmm.
And Bass first opened in 1778, their brewery.
Wow.
King George, the guy that was hassling us and we told it to get lost in 1776, was king. And his favorite palace, coincidentally, was the Kew Palace, which was now in Kew Garden on the Thames, south of London, in the suburbs, and quite close to where I ended up living for 2 years there. So I love that. I love the gardens there. The Kew Palace is these colors, kind of red and yellow. So that's how we came up with the name Castle and the color palette of the label.
Cool. How high is the peak?
This one is 14,265. So it's one of the higher ones.
You've climbed this one?
No, I have not.
Goals.
I picked my beer names based mostly on the most interesting names. Unfortunately, many of them are the most technical climbs, and I wouldn't consider myself a technical climber. I have friends that have climbed all 53. I've climbed about 11, and very happy. That's not a lifetime goal of mine.
Yeah,
I would like to climb all of my beer mountains, but I do need a jungle guide to do it. I wouldn't feel like some of them you have to use ropes and crampons and real climbing stuff. The ones I've done are trail hikes that may be steep and windy and cold and high altitude, so you can't breathe very well. But
you don't need to clip in the hooks.
You can hike.
You don't have to go all Sylvester Stallone.
No,
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. You don't have to do Cliffhanger and go across crevasses.
Totally underrated movie. Can we all agree?
Yeah.
I just don't think it gets enough love.
No, I totally agree. I'm a big Bill Simmons podcast guy, and he does what he calls rewatchables, which are all the movies that you watch over and over again. I think Cliffhanger is one of his favorites.
Is it rewatchable?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we give probably too much love to Roadhouse and Point Break and Die Hard on this show, but I'll put Cliffhanger in there too. You know something that did not...
I need to watch it again.
You know something that didn't age well? It was one of my favorite movies when it came out. Oh, cool. Fight Club. It's like it's kind of locked in that 99 2000 mindset.
Vault.
Yeah, it's like you have to
rewind, but you can't rewind.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know, it didn't age well.
Thank you.
Airplane.
Airplane. No, I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah.
That's
that and Bad News Bears. Like if you watch Bad News,
the old one,
where he's like,
I was gonna watch it with my kids.
Yeah, I did watch it with my kids. I was very uncomfortable.
we got like 7
he's
minutes.
passed out. He's pouring alcohol into his his drink while he's coaching them. And, like he's forcing them to clean the pool while he drinks and
And it's Bad News Bears.
The original, the old one,
first old one?
not the Billy Bob one.
Nah.
Yeah,
The
the
original.
older one. Yeah.
It's classic though.
Yeah, no, it's they couldn't make that movie today. There's a lot of movies from that era they can't
could not
redo.
make that.
Or put that one behind us.
So this one, the story with this is this is my first attempt at it on a commercial level, and the malted barley that I used was very dark. So my goal was that this would be incrementally lighter in color than the Saison, but also darker than the Saison and lighter than the ESB, and of course lighter than the porter. But it's darker than the ESB, and it's very malty, and it's good. It's very good, and some of our British customers and neighbors love it. But my second batch is lighter, so I'm a little nervous on how they're going to accept this.
No,
I'm not big much on pale ales, but this maybe it is the maltier stuff that kind of tones
Yeah.
the ale-y, paley taste.
I love the pale ale. I love the Bass. And one of the things I really enjoyed about the United Kingdom was I worked in the city of London, which is a financial district, and I lived outside, maybe 45-minute train ride outside of the city in Surrey. And I was amazed when I could go up to a kiosk in the train station before I got my train and buy a can of Bass.
Yeah.
Like a good proper 22-ounce can, or
Out of a machine.
out of it. Just you buy it from a person,
okay.
and they give it to you. You go on the train, and you can sit there on the train.
Why not?
On the way home and drink
Yeah.
it. Like, you go to New York City, and you get arrested for that.
Oh, I know, right?
Probably the light rail in Houston, you'd get arrested for drinking on it.
Yeah, maybe that would help the light rail. I don't know if you. Maybe
Or
they
maybe
should.
not.
I don't know.
Well, there are no kiosks that sell cans of British ale.
It's just a different approach, though, to beer in general in London
That's
and
right.
in all of England versus how we did it here. It just
it was one of the favorite. It was the pleasures of certainly a Friday afternoon.
That was the best thing you were looking forward to.
Like the stress of the day. That and the fact that we actually had a pub in the basement of our building. I was at PricewaterhouseCoopers at the time, and our building, we owned the building, and in the basement was a pub.
that's cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I watched a new show on Netflix. I was watching with my daughter last night. It was called something interiors, like Amazing Interior or something like that. But they bounce back and forth from. So it's just like these normal looking homes on the outside, and then you go inside. It's like, oh, holy shit! It's whatever. It's a horror movie memorabilia museum or something like that. And there was this guy over in England. Well, they bounce from England, and then they come over and they'll do places in the U.S. So they had somebody in Austin. They had somebody in where else were they at? North Carolina, somewhere like that. But anyway, in the basement, this guy opened up he had these like old school like sci-fi memorabilia, like stuff from 2001, stuff from just all kinds of stuff. What was the robot? Anyway, but in the basement was built in like 1850 or something like that, and it was just this stone and wood beam. Cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it was
when we looked for a place to live, when we relocated there, everything was from the 1700s, the 1600s. It was so different than the United States and your
Houston
apartment
especially.
option. Yeah,
Houston's like, when was that built? Last week?
yeah, yeah.
Tearing it down? Yep, it's old.
Well, yeah, we currently rent a house from 1945 little bungalow. And they all were the same in this neighborhood. And the owners had to relocate to the Middle East. They worked for Big Energy, and so they rented us their house, and they had redone everything. So it's nice inside, but it's from the 40s. And now everything in the neighborhood is getting scraped, and they're putting up, beautiful new customs that take up, the house takes up the entire
entire lot.
Yeah. And ours is just like a 3-bedroom little ranch, which I love that it's so simple.
Yeah.
But it's about as old as you're going to get in Houston.
It really is. This is the historic part of Houston, this area around here. It's like, it's about as...
I love the Heights, with all the kind of older houses there, and this area is kind of still on the edge of that.
What is this?
Garden Oaks?
This is Garden Oaks?
Garden Oaks, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Always grabbing at your mic.
I'm trying.
Just gotta let me know, and I can pipe you down.
Gotcha.
I love the aroma of this pale ale. It has
Thank you.
It's like a toasty bread kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very toasty.
I like the maltiness of it.
Yeah.
Frank is our resident quality control analyst, so he's doing some tests on clarifying our beer, and he came up with the descriptor malty and roasty. Roasty. Yeah.
I'll
So, everyone's asking, well, this doesn't really look like a pale ale. And he's like, I know it's really roasty, but I like it.
Yes.
It is good.
Me too. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, if you could probably come in and be all like, this does not fit the profile of a blah, blah, blah.
Yes. I had a Brit that came in the other day, and he was very, discerning
Yeah.
about the...
I love how they're willing to tell you
Yes.
that's not proper.
Yes. Well, and
Go on.
Our first day when I set up, or the second day, so we unhooked all the kegs and put them away, and we brought them back out to hook them back in, and I accidentally hooked a porter keg onto a pale ale, and there was a Brit that came up, and he was very distressed. He's like, I ordered a pale ale, and I know this is not a pale ale. I'm like, and I already had it in my head that my pale ale is too dark. So I'm like, well, I'm sorry, I made it too dark, and I'm trying to I'm just starting, and I want to improve upon it and everything. He's like, no, this is a porter. I'm like, okay, this guy is, he's an aficionado. He knows his beer. He's British, but he was right. I had hooked up the porter, so I bought him a beer.
Have you? That's cool. That's the proper.
Response,
proper English way. Have you tried doing I guess black and tans are stout and pale.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it. I actually started my porter, which we're gonna have next. That was, trying to come up with my rendition of a Guinness. I didn't want something really dark. I wanted something incrementally less, and my assumption was, it's not going to be that popular, because when I go to a craft brewery, I typically don't go dark.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like either trying their best IPAs or trying something different. And for me, porters and stouts are more cold days, but I have to say the porter has been one of our most popular.
I love porters.
And the ladies like it for some reason.
Yeah?
Yeah. So the non-beer drinking ladies migrate either to the Saison or the porter. And
Hello, cool P.
We'll give it a
Ladies
shot.
love cool porter. If you were going for Guinness, I don't know if y'all saw that tweet from JJ Watt. He was talking about the end of the season, how he was, had a pretty decent season, time to start working on next season, going to enjoy a couple of Guinness. Yeah, it's like,
well, hopefully JJ comes and tries our porter.
I'm gonna say, I'm pretty sure JJ listens to this podcast.
Well, JJ, I will buy you a porter if you come. I'm very grateful for how much you've done for this city.
Yep.
Yeah, great guy,
and we make a mean porter.
Yeah, man.
Come on, JJ.
Yeah, somebody, if you listen to this and you know JJ Watt, just
give him a call.
Yeah, cut off
right
this
here
clip.
now.
Just tell him to come
It's,
right walking.
it's a very chill beer garden. You would enjoy yourself, and I know our neighbors would be thrilled if you came.
Yeah, just come hang out. No pressure. We won't even tell anybody.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
So this is the massive brown porter.
This is the massive brown porter. It's very pleasant.
It smells great. Pleasant in a different way. Like the Saison is super pleasant, as in like your mom waking you up.
Yes.
Like waking you up on a Saturday at like 10:30. She didn't wake you up early, and you can smell she's already started cooking breakfast.
Them bacon in
Memories.
Yeah,
Memories.
that's the super pleasant of the Saison. This is more like just from the aroma, this is like your grandma came and she's gonna cook dinner. Your favorite.
I think this is camping with my dad. And he gets up and makes coffee and bacon and eggs. On the Coleman. And I get to sleep in, and I come out, and it's all ready to go.
Nothing better than waking up to breakfast.
It's chilly, the river's flowing.
I like cooking. I love cooking breakfast.
I do too.
But there's also that nice, like, oh, the coffee's already ready.
It's ready.
Oh.
Food tastes better if you don't prepare it.
Yeah, like a sandwich. What's up with a sandwich? Like a sandwich.
It's always better when someone else makes it.
Oh
yeah. Like
my gosh, I do. I have a mountain story on sandwiches.
Go for it.
So, our friends from Houston had no idea about these concept of 14ers. So we talked a number of them into flying to Denver, hanging out in the mountains for a week, and going up and climbing Mount Democrat. Okay. There's 3 mountains: Lincoln, Bros, and Democrat. And we just said you can climb all 3 in one day. Just you get to a certain altitude and you just have to go down a saddle and climb the next one. Then you get credit for 3 mountains instead of 1. But
is the Democrat the one on the left? I don't.
Where's the sound effect on that? Come on. I know you got some sound
pretty
effects.
sure
Depends on where you stand, I guess.
Yeah, well, I guess that's
if you're far left, then it's a little to the right. No.
Anyway, so it's not a hard climb, but it's steep, and on this particular day it was really cloudy and windy, and you have to start early because if you're on the mountain above tree line at noon, typically you get thunder and lightning storms. So you're at risk of getting struck by lightning.
Yeah.
So you have to get up early. You have to start climbing. You have to get up to the top. And so I have 3 kids. My youngest is 18, and then 24 and 26. And I talked all of them to go. And my 18-year-old is kind of, he was in high school at the time and kind of goofy and didn't eat breakfast. So we climbed these mountains, and my wife had made these sandwiches. And so we had them in our backpack, and we got sort of 2/3 of the way up, and Ethan, my youngest, was like, I'm not going to be able to make it. And my wife pulled out a sandwich and gave it to him, and he just like ate that sandwich and
hailed it.
It was like new energy. It was the best sandwich he ever had. And he powered to the top of that mountain and made it. And there's a picture of like all 8 of us at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
After a successful summit. And that was their first 14er. They'd never even known anything about the concept of climbing a 14er. And all from Texas, they made it to the top of the mountain. It was really pretty fun.
With the help of the sandwich.
With the sandwich. The sandwiches were very important.
What kind of sandwich was it?
It was like turkey and cheese and roast beef. It was like
delicious.
A combo power sandwich.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about.
Ever.
Like my father-in-law makes the best sandwiches. It's like, I don't know what he does. A little extra pepper right on the mayo or something. The pickle is laid just right.
Pickles that have pickles in a sandwich.
Just
pickles laid just right.
The Brits make a mean sandwich. Like,
do they? Oh yeah.
A typical lunchtime business lunch would be go to a cave bar. Like you go under the underground, and there'd be little caverns. And you order a bottle of wine in this case, and a plate of sandwiches, and they'd have all different kinds. They'd be cut in triangles, and it'd just be a stack of sandwiches of all different types. And you just munch on the sandwich and drink a bottle of wine. It's very civilized.
Yeah, right. Sandwiches. Here's to the Earl of Sandwich.
Earl.
Who invented the sandwich, or at least took credit. Either way, they're fantastic. So that is that back there? Am I hearing the echo? Yeah. That's the tap room. Work on the tap room and the
restroom.
Yeah, we're adding a restroom onto our tap room, and right now we're renting a bathroom, and I'm very keen on ending the bathroom rental, which is more expensive than my home rental. But it's a very nice bathroom.
I was going to say,
guys, come visit.
Nice. It's very
nice.
Will,
especially the ladies, you will love our bathrooms.
It's nice.
It's one of those. It's a trailer.
It looks like an arrow, like a
castle. It's a castle
shuttle
bathroom. Yes, it is.
Nice.
My wife insisted on this. She's like, we are not hosting neighbors without a proper bathroom.
That's big.
It is.
When you have that moment,
we're very catering to families, so we have changing table in the women's bathroom.
So how much longer do you think?
I appreciate.
before that.
Hold on, as a father, I appreciate that it's in the women's bathroom. I'm sorry, honey, I can't. It's in the.
How do you know it's in the women?
He
It's in the
said-
women's bathroom.
Yeah.
The changing tables in the
We
women's.
have 2 women's bathrooms and 1 men's.
Which there you go.
We have 2.
No, that's-
Right, cut the line in half. Y'all got the 2.
Yes.
We just don't have. They didn't have to.
Very
So they
pleasant.
gave y'all 2. All we have is barely enough room.
Barely enough.
So they had to put the changing table.
Yes. It was the only one that had room.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, it's like I wish I could. I wish I could.
So how much longer are y'all looking at till this bad boy gets built up here?
Well,
And
we're
get rid of
hoping the
that trailer.
We're hoping the bathroom part. We're focused on that by the end of the month, and then we
Okay.
can get rid of the trailer, and people can use that bathroom, and then another month or 2 for we want to get the tap room done before it gets warm and oppressively hot with mosquitoes flying around, because people aren't going to want to drink beer in a beer garden that's hot and sweaty and buggy.
Mosquitoes.
Yeah,
Mosquitoes are they bad? I just
they're bad.
Are they?
They are bad.
You think all around Houston? It's
Everywhere I've spent.
okay.
anytime.
I've got so perspective. Where I grew up, it was. Are we all watching that bubble go up?
Yeah.
Every caught our eye, right next to the bright tanks, and this
Yeah.
bubble just
Went
shot.
Floated up the measurement.
There goes another one.
Yeah, there he goes. Now we're going to be fixated on it for the rest of the show. Where I grew up was in the middle of rice fields,
Okay.
and so they flood rice fields, and so you go outside.
Mosquitoes.
Oh, like wingspans of like 7 feet would come in and pick you up. You can't stand still. Like they're all over you. So people,
My favorite commercial is the Tabasco commercial where he's eating a pizza and putting Tabasco on it, and like a mosquito lands on his arm, and he takes a bite of the pizza and blows up the mosquito.
yeah, no, I mean, there's been a few moments like after storms and stuff like that where I've seen it's been bad. Like I'll give Houston that, but it's perspective, I guess. Yep. I don't know. Like one thing I guess we can all agree on here: you never get used to the humidity. Like in this middle of the summer.
I have a mixed feeling. I actually, one of the biggest reasons why I moved away from Colorado into Houston is it is so dry in that part of the country. So Colorado, Arizona, Utah, all that, it is so dry that it's more, I find it more comfortable here living just day to day in the humidity than I do there. And everyone kind of walks around with just slightly undersaturated skin.
Yeah.
And there's this look to it. I mean, I think a lot of people, they go skiing, they go hiking, they're outdoors a lot. Like everyone in Houston has beautiful skin, fully hydrated.
Yeah.
Like I get
That's
off the
true.
airplane when I go to Colorado, and I can feel the moisture being sucked out of me. And by the time I spend the night there and I wake up the next morning, my eye sockets are dry, my mouth is dry, my nostrils are, it's just very dry.
Yeah.
And some people are fine with that. That to me is a dimension that I don't want to live with.
Yeah. I don't know. Midsummer, though. What I did find when I went to college, we went for maybe it's Thanksgiving or it was a holiday. I don't remember now. A lot of drinking. We tried a lot of those beers.
Yeah.
But like even like when it was cold, like close to 0 and that sort of thing, I didn't think it felt as cold than when it gets to about near freezing here.
No,
Like, it sits on you here.
No, it is. That is a very true point. Like, what people don't know about Colorado is it has more sunny days than Miami, Florida. And it feels warmer. Like, dryness reduces the cold effect.
Yeah.
So you could be at 20 degrees in Colorado, and it wouldn't feel like 20 degrees in Houston. It would
Yeah.
feel- yeah.
20 degrees here is
Brutal.
forget it. I'm not leaving the
it.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah. We're hardier folk down here, maybe? I don't know. I don't know if I could say that. But
It's like, the whole saying, the coldest winter I ever had was a summer in San Francisco.
oh, yeah.
It's because it's so humid, it just gets to the bone.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get warm.
Yeah, it's like having a wet blanket as opposed to a
Yes.
hot blanket
There you
in
go.
the middle of the summer.
There you go.
That's good. This
Well, now you were commenting earlier that you wanted to try an ESB.
yes,
And
I'm an ESB fan. I'm in the fan club
okay.
of ESBs. There's
Well-
something about they're just the biscuity, just
Yes. So this is one of my first beers I ever brewed.
In the old
Perfected.
in the Grainfather.
And the Grainfather.
Yeah.
And by the way, when you brew all that beer, you got to drink it. They have a whole warehouse full of bad bottled beer.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
don't know what to do with
I
it.
wish the grain. Okay, so the Grainfather guys, aren't they out of Australia?
I think New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
Okay, somewhere down there, right?
Yeah.
Way down.
Yeah.
Way down, ways away. Near some good hops, though. They have good hops down in New Zealand and Australia.
That is a killer system, by the way.
Yes. Have you talked to them? Like you're one of those like the Grainfather feeder system,
I know.
right?
I
don't compare.
I love the cleanliness of it and the compactness of it. It's just
I wish they'd make like a 2.5 gallon version or a 1 gallon version or
like
something.
a coffee pot version.
Yeah, something like that. Because
5 gallons is a lot, and
Yes.
it's still an effort. I mean, you got to do all the steps, and
I'm fine with spending the same amount on a batch of homebrew, even for just a gallon or 2 gallons or whatever. But to have it's fine. That's the sound of
sorry,
A working operation. Yeah,
the
it's-
bathroom. We're making progress.
Right, that's
towards
your-
the real opening.
your future comfort.
See, you can see this one's lighter than the pale ale.
Yeah, I should have
Like
left.
if you,
Oh, there we go.
so it's
I mean, they're pretty.
they're close.
Pretty
They're too close. I want a spectrum of color,
Oh, I get you.
but they're completely different grain bills. So it's like, you
Yeah.
know, you get what you get. It's just that malted barley in the pale ale is so dark. I use like 7 pounds of it for 10 barrels, and it just turns it. It's like squid ink. I don't know, have you ever had squid ink?
No.
Not today. No, it's
One of
been.
the delicacies of Europe is like mostly Spain. I spent a little time in Spain.
You drink it?
No, it's you know paella.
Yeah. Probably
So they have a squid ink paella where it's like calamari mixed with rice, and then they put the squid ink, so it's black. I mean, it's literally.
But
black.
it's the same. They would serve it in the same type.
Like you go to a nice paella restaurant, you can get the traditional with the shells and the chicken and all and the sausage, or you can get the black paella that's with squid ink and squid and
Do they have?
calamari.
Is there like a Spanish restaurant in Houston that does like a big like paella?
I think there's one in Rice Village.
Yeah?
That's pretty good.
I feel like
tapas are part. You know, it's like
Yeah.
people sleep like people outside of Houston don't know about the Houston food scene.
yeah.
That's the best part about it.
food. The social scene in Houston is by far the best.
Yeah.
One, because the people are unpretentious, not like other cities in
Yeah, they are.
the state.
I love Houston. I love the people.
And
It's just
everyone's so friendly, and the food is spectacular.
yeah.
Like,
it is.
there's nothing like, let's say February to June, where crawfish.
Yeah, we're almost at crawfish season.
I mean,
we're
come
close.
on. Going to the boot, having a big 5-pound bucket of crawfish and a beer. That's
Old Town Spring Crawfish Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's crawfish seasons here. Almost.
And it's so hard to eat that you digest it before you get another one. So
It's
you
like a-
could actually eat crawfish for 24 hours.
It's like a
Oh,
calorie
yeah,
neutral.
easy.
It is
It's
a
easy.
Because you're burning calories as
calorie neutral meal.
It's like celery.
yes,
It's like the calories you used to chew celery are the same that you
isn't that right?
Come-
something, and it's but you don't get celery and crawfish are about as far apart.
Yeah,
as far as the satisfaction.
I would opt for the crawfish.
Although
very much.
there's a lot of celery in good Cajun cooking, the Trinity, right?
True.
So I don't know, man. I love crawfish season, Mardi Gras, all that. We always have a big Mardi, like the weekend before Fat Tuesday. We have a big
Yeah.
party.
This was something that I was introduced to because I didn't spend a lot of time in the southeast, so I didn't have any knowledge of crawfish. I mean, we had crawdads in Colorado, but they were just like muddy
Yeah.
monsters that live on the bottom of all our lakes, and you don't cook them up with
Yeah.
the best spices on the planet.
Yeah.
like eat them with corn and potatoes and all
yeah.
that. Oh, I'm hungry.
Yeah, they do. That's the rice patties over in Louisiana.
Where?
In Louisiana. That's how you say it, man. Look, listen.
Oh,
I can't pronounce some of your
some words.
like the food that like your people. What was it, the menudo or whatever you guys eat?
Oh, that's the 80s band.
No. What's the stuff y'all eat?
What's the
All
80s band?
Your mom always cooks up that you're like that you like so much. What is that? The intestine or something? What is that?
You said it already. Fool.
Is that what it is? Menudo? Did I say it
I would
right?
say it's haggis, but that's British.
Haggis? Yeah. See, that's anyway. I'm just saying. Okay, so the rice
Tripe. That's
tripe.
French.
Yes.
It's like your garbage stuffed into a pig intestine.
Yes. Yes.
I
Ugh.
think it's beef, though, isn't it? Beef?
I don't know. Anyway, that's where they grow the
Something in
crawfish.
Louisiana. You were saying?
Louisiana. That's how you say it. Have you been to Louisiana?
Continue your story. Yes,
That's
I have.
how they say it. So I'm going to say it like they say it. That's how I say it. I know people. I've been there. I've met them. Nice folks. Love their
And
food.
what happened?
Anyway, the rice
Yeah.
paddy, they flood them, right? Like I was
Yes.
talking about where I grew up. But then on the off season, it's crawfish farms, basically.
Ah,
Yeah,
that makes
okay.
sense. That makes a lot
Yeah,
of
I mean,
sense.
driving through, I've been to New Orleans a few times, and driving through, I mean, you just see it on either side of the I-10, just the big nets and the ponds and the
Yeah.
cages, and
Yeah.
that's what they're doing.
Yeah, they do crawfish farms and then sometimes just
Yeah.
like the catfish farms,
Oh, okay.
farm-raised catfish stuff. So
That's an essential element.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crawfish demand out there.
yes, so good though. Great with beer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
I love the CSB.
So, Eddie, how go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I would say, so obviously being a new brewer here in the area, how's the support been from you? The
Oh my
other
gosh.
the other new ones, the more veteran ones, the
Talk about an industry that I don't know if you could compare to another industry.
Uh-huh.
It's like they help with everything that you could possibly think of.
equipment, grains, hops, something like that. Just
Advice, support. Like we needed some extra beer garden tables, and the guys across the street from us at Great Heights, hey, take ours. It's like, hey, and if you run out of kegs, you could borrow ours. I mean, you can't distribute them, but you can use them to
In-house.
serve in-house. And I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
good.
Yeah, they're good guys over there, Sean.
They're all. I mean, Eureka Heights down there. And like everyone provides information. If you're new, you don't have a clue. Everyone gives perspective. Holler Brewing, great family that runs that. I love it. It's very supportive.
So you haven't felt like you've been left in the
No.
in the dumps or in the back of the pack. Hey, I got my hand up. I got my hand up.
Do you have something we need to talk about?
No.
That's kind of a negative.
No,
That's not what I meant, but that's not- no, that's not- no.
I've never run. In fact, I've called breweries in Colorado, like Cerebral Brewing is one of my favorite breweries in Denver, and they use the same equipment. They bought the same equipment from Portland Kettle Works, and I just called them out of the blue, and they're like, gave me the positives and negatives of
Just before you
their
bought it.
experience before I bought it. Everyone's trying to help everyone.
Yeah. So Portland Kettle Works, they're American, obviously. They're in
Yes.
Portland, Oregon.
That was important to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they're more expensive, but I went to their manufacturing facility in Portland, and basically the three of us would be the welders there. I mean, it's the exact same demographic, beer lovers. They're just choosing one other dimension of the supply chain,
Yeah.
and they're great. They make great equipment. They're supportive. I have no regrets on using them, and like you don't run the risk of, some of the bankruptcies and
Yeah, that's been a bugaboo
yeah,
here lately.
yeah.
So you're getting pretty confident, and and with all these valves, you pretty practiced on the.
So I've brewed 10 times on the system. I mean, we've set this up so I could do this all myself. I'd probably be here from 7 till midnight, but this is so much cleanup after
You know what you're doing, basically.
I know what I'm doing, and I know how to use the equipment, and the equipment is very supportive of minimal tasks around it.
Yeah.
And there's always workarounds and such that people have to deal with, but the system and how they built it is really, really clean and efficient.
User friendly.
Really happy with it.
Looks good. Looks good.
Yeah, I will say this: your brew house is it's
The white tile. It looks.
it's
clean.
Would you call that subway tile? Is that considered subway
Yeah.
tile?
It's like a clean room. I mean,
It's very.
we spent money to, insulate all the glycol with, aluminum covers, so we keep it clean, and just the system, everything is designed so we keep it as clean as possible.
Yeah, I like it. It's
You don't want an infected beer.
No.
You want to make a sour. by choice, not by
Accident.
Yeah.
accident.
Speaking of, so while we drink the ESB, which is about as far away from a sour as you can get perspective from this on the spectrum. But you had talked about in the new tap. Are we allowed to talk about that?
Sure.
These aren't like secrets.
Sure.
All right, I don't want to give away trade secrets.
Nothing.
All right. The new tap room. You were giving us the tour and saying this is going to be the and so you plan on doing some open fermentation, and barrel aging.
When I bought a house, I bought a house in Colorado. Sits on 5 acres, and it's this beautiful Australian farmhouse. And the builder was someone that got, her specialty was making a new house look old. And so she would go into demoing houses and buy their mantle and their fireplace and use it on a new house.
Yeah.
And so we had 3 fireplaces from old other buildings, other houses, and there were literally cigarette burns on the mantle from maybe the 1800s. I mean, it was really cool. But one of the things she had was like a circa 1800s miner's tub. And it's like it's like maybe a 60-gallon tub, aluminum, covering on an old wood square. And it's like you can imagine like a miner sitting in a tub with a scrub brush.
Yeah.
And so we love the tub, but we ultimately got like a footed, funner tub and upgraded that. So I have this 1800s tub. I'm going to use that along with my previous owner's fabrication table. So you have these huge metal tables. I'm going to create an open fermentation system. So I'm going to brew beer in a miner's tub in the tap room so everyone can see it. And it's like I went to Amsterdam, and Heineken has all these open fermentation tanks on their tour.
Okay.
And so you walk by and you
That's
see.
not like the Heineken, like the. Do they do open firm?
Well, they did when I was there on the tour.
But that's like normal, just Heineken lager, or are they doing something?
I'm sure they're just demonstrating.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're about to blow my mind.
Which I think it's really cool because open fermentation is you're exposing it to the elements.
Yeah.
And so that's part of it. So I'm going to brew beer in there, and I'm going to barrel age it in there. That's my long-term goal. I mean, I'm probably a little ways away, but I have the tub, so I know I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Cool. It's going to look cool.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
People are going to come in, they're going to see these yeast cakes on the top of the wort. It's so
maybe
good.
your neighborhood has the best tasting
yeast
and flora and
we're
fauna.
so close to the train tracks. They can bring it in from anywhere. Think about that.
That is
you
wild.
might get Chinese mold spores and yeast spores.
Yeah. I mean, that's
It's a possibility, yeah.
Conceptually,
yeah. Why not?
we're a block away from the train tracks. It's going to bring anything in. Anyway.
Could be.
Interesting.
Yeah. But we're in Houston, too, so maybe some of that spacecraft brought back some sort of like...
I'm not sure they land the spacecraft here.
They bring it here eventually.
You think?
Right? Don't they have some rockets out there?
Yeah. From
And
the moon mold.
Maybe you have moon
Yeah,
mold.
Houston Rockets.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. Maybe you have... What's in James Harden's beard? We don't know.
Product of some sort.
James, if you want to come to our brewery, I'd be honored to serve you as well.
Him too, yeah. So
JJ and James.
James and
JJ and James. JJ.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And anybody.
J and J.
And Jose.
We love you.
Jose Altuve.
Although
Why not another J?
Yeah.
Let's
just
I
do
like
that.
JJ and J.
You can swab James Harden's beard. See what we get out of there. Who made the beard? Was it Rogue? Somebody made a beard.
Oh,
beard
gosh.
beer. Yeah.
I got plenty of yeast in my beard, I'm sure. So I'm going to open the Witbier IPA, Blanca. So
Looking
white.
forward to this one.
Your so-called white beer, white IPA.
Yeah.
It was popular for 5 minutes in the early 90s.
It's so
It's cloudy.
yeah, which is a typical wit beer. That's style appropriate.
It's got a lot of citrus from the hops, and it's got coriander that we grind with our grinder. I used to grind it with a mortar and pestle, but
Now
Upgraded.
I've automated it.
super shiny zester over there, super like automated.
That's right.
Alexa-powered zester.
There you go.
Alexa, zest my grapefruit.
Well, I had this nightmare one night because I was
it smells great.
zesting my grapefruit and grinding my coriander for my 5-gallon batch, and I had this vision that I had to have like 35, Latina ladies with, masks on and
Like you-
grinding this, and
like a
how
drug
am I
ring?
How am I gonna scale up?
Which Steven Seagal movie was that? Was that Hard to Kill, or was that which one was
I think
that?
It was like American Gangster is a good example.
Oh, that's one of them. There was, maybe it wasn't Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal.
Wesley, what's the Wesley Snipes movie that in the 80s they had a clean room where no one was allowed to wear clothes?
Oh, was that not Passenger 57? Was it?
No.
That was Die Hard on a Plane. I mean, that was how that went.
I like that Passenger 57. Con Air, that was an old.
Oh,
Con Air.
Con Air is a classic.
Yeah, old Nick Cage.
Rewatchable.
For all you Nick Cage
Give
haters.
me back the bunny.
Nick Cage made some good movies, but he's made some bad choices too.
That's good.
I know this one.
Yeah.
I'm big in like my favorites right now. Well, not right now, but I'm big in the heifers and the wheats.
Yeah, well,
This
it.
is a Witbier. Yeah, this is.
But we
really
we up the IBUs out of range, so
It's still within my range.
No, that's fantastic.
This is yes.
I like that. That's a good wit beers. I don't know, for whatever reason they're like good winter beers.
That's
And this is
good.
that's a good like
it's a unique beer. It's its own category.
yeah. It tastes like I would think like a snowy, like if I were at the ski lodge, like I don't ski. I've tried skiing once, and they wouldn't let me do it again. I did ski school and I took out the entire class like 4 times, like bowling pins.
How old were you?
Oh, this is like 4 years ago.
Oh,
It's a common tale.
Yeah, it's a 230-pound dude. Just taking out the entire class.
7-year-olds and 6-year-olds. Probably.
No, they were adults. They knew what they were getting into. They could have seen me coming.
The first time I took my wife Angie skiing, we went to Snowmass and we started on the mountain, and she skis by me and just basically heads for a tree. And like the only way, she just grabbed onto the tree and stopped herself. Like,
Oh,
it's probably best if you didn't ski into a tree.
Yeah,
somehow
Somewhere.
gently put your body down and slide.
somewhere Sonny Bono's like,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yes.
Yeah,
They have branches and they stick out.
yeah,
It's called
Big
an
trunk.
impaler.
yeah.
Fall down.
Good name for a beer, Impaler.
The impaler.
Yeah, like a
Keep that in mind.
triple white IPA.
This Witbier.
But it really does kind of taste like that. I just worked my ass off trying to get down this mountain.
Yeah.
without killing myself.
Yeah.
And now I'm feeling.
It's got to be. You said this one got the coriander in it, right?
It's got
Right.
the coriander.
Yeah.
Can you taste it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you having spent that time with coriander? Now
I'm one with coriander
I-
and a mortar and pestle.
Yeah.
I have carpal tunnel syndrome from that. It's not good.
I feel like coriander is one of those spices that used to be like sought out, like started wars back in the day, and
I
now
think
we're
so.
just like,
Spice Wars. I think they have the Spice Wars.
yeah. Now just go buy it at aisle 13 at HEB.
You can buy it at your local home brew shop as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put it in your beer.
It's a good compliment to beer. Like, some people are being, like, I'm not to the point where I can be creative enough to, like, throw yesterday's garbage into a vat and make beautiful beer out of it.
Yeah.
And people are, going crazy. Like, I had a beer in Denver last year that someone was making with pizza ingredients. They were trying to make a pizza beer.
Yeah. Do they use tomatoes?
No, but they use like oregano and all of the olive oil. It's just
Olive
weird
oil.
stuff.
That is weird. That's crazy. It's kind of like the. I was watching this video. I did Watchdog Dad at my daughter's school yesterday. Yes, and they in the music class they were talking about the different musical like eras, and they were talking about the classical era, and then so they went from the simple like elegant to classical came in, and they did just all the notes, like the saddest emotion as possible, and then like the most exciting, and they used all the notes everywhere, and I'm like, that's where we are we're in the classical period of beer brewing right now. Let's put kolaches in there. Let's put all the.
Someone's going to make a crawfish beer.
They have.
Did they?
I know that Texas down in Dickinson, Texas.
Beer refinery?
Beer refinery, Texas beer refinery. They did like a crawfish porter, or a crawfish, so like their own taste.
Early in this whole experience for me, we ran the Greece Marathon, and then we went to Paris to sightsee, and we looked up craft breweries in Paris.
Oh, you're like Greece, the country.
Yeah.
I was thinking John Travolta and the
No,
John
no, no.
dressed up like
The
a
original
T-bird.
marathon.
He's a college runner. Still isn't.
No,
he?
I get it now. Okay.
But the experience was we looked up a craft brewery in Paris, and it's not popular there.
No.
We found one. We go in. They had 3 beers: a light beer, light in color, a medium color beer, and a dark beer. And they've been there forever. They had beautiful tanks sitting there. They were serving food. Everyone was happy. It was a very popular place. And it struck me that making consistently good beer that people like is the priority. That's our number one goal. We have a nice variety. I will experiment eventually, but my priority is make good, consistent beer and an experience that people want to have.
Yeah.
First and foremost. You have breweries like just around the corner, Brash, and there's even Great Heights. I love them. I go there. The highlight of my day is I finish here. I go across the street and buy a growler from them.
Yeah.
Because they're creative. They love different hops, and they stretch the limits of what you can do with it. And people love that too. So that's just not what we're trying to do. We want to make the perfect ESB, the perfect pale ale, the perfect porter that people love.
Yeah.
And have it be consistent.
There's enough room for everybody.
I think so.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Personalities per brewery are just like people.
People's moods change too. It's like I need something racy. I'm going to go to Great Heights and like try their lupulin.
Yeah.
Or the Denali. They have a spectacular beer. Sean, their brewer, and he's he's way more experienced than I am at all this. And, it's great. We had people ask me if I'm the master brewer. And one thing I learned from Deloitte was we codified the concept of master. If you didn't spend 10,000 active hours of your life on your specialty, you were not considered a master.
Yeah.
So
like that.
Figure it out. How many hours a year do you work? 1,800 to 2,200 hours a year. So you have to work a long time to get to 10,000 hours. So I'm not a master brewer. I'm the head brewer here.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to call myself a master brewer. And you get the beer aficionados, and they want a resume. They want well, why should I drink your beer? How are you experienced enough to be capable of producing a beer for me? You decide.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, try it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like I don't know, pick anything. Sports, I guess. Some rookie sensation can come in, and some people are just blessed with
natural athletic talent.
Yeah, like they're gonna give you these amazing games, 45-point game, and just all over the place. But are they going to be able to lead their team into the playoffs and then get a championship?
Yeah,
well, that takes a little more seasoning than that. Somebody like LeBron or somebody that can just
Drew Brees, hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, are you a Saints fan?
I'm a Broncos fan, but I respect him.
Oh yeah.
I'm tired of Tom Brady winning it.
Me
He's
too.
the other one. I mean, they should play each other. That would be a classic Super Bowl, I'm sure. But
Yeah. Just as long as the Cowboys don't. I don't want the Cowboys to win. I mean, it's fine that they won that playoff game, but can you imagine what we'd have to listen to if they won again?
It won't happen.
Who are they playing? Are they playing New Orleans?
No.
Who are they playing?
No.
L.A.
What if it's an all L.A.
that
Super
would be
Bowl?
interesting.
That could happen.
I wouldn't mind that.
Like the city that barely even keeps up with their teams.
I love Wade Phillips. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, he was our old guy, your old guy.
Yeah.
Well,
They
San Diego's due.
Well, it's not even saying they're L.A.
Los Angeles.
It'll be
Wow.
Excuse me.
San Diego is
Compton
due.
or
They're going to have to be.
Compton Soccer.
Yeah, they're gonna be waiting for a while. That's a weird deal, though, right? It could be an all LA Super Bowl, and people don't even go to their games, right?
That would be tragic for the NFL.
Just be like, hey, we won. But they would, LA people, I think, they would be like, oh,
Where's the Super Bowl at this year?
in LA. Is no.
No, I think they're waiting until their new stadium,
Yes.
which is whenever.
Yeah.
Where is it this year? I don't know. New Orleans? I don't know.
Maybe.
So.
Look it up. We got the internets, right?
You got the interweb.
I don't know. But 10,000 hours. So if we work at what? You said 2,000 hours a year ish?
Ish.
So like 5 years?
But that's
something?
like you're humping it for the whole year. Like that is work. So on your expertise. So if you're getting a cup of coffee or you're in a meeting, that's not experience.
That's
Like,
true. Oh yeah, you
Think
got
about
really
2,000 hours of brewing. So right now, my max capacity, I could brew 4 days a week. If I'm smart about it, I think I could brew 4 days a week. That's, well, for me, it's like 12 hours. But, doing that for that, so that's not, that would probably be about 1,600 hours for a year. So I got to do that. And I'm not brewing 4 days a week right now because we're just not pushing out the beer fast enough. So,
Well, you've got the issue of the government shutdown, right? Is that part of it? Currently,
well,
like with the label approval?
good conceptual. I don't know why the TABC. Like, I made my label is a keg collar, and it has 4 beers on it. And the only thing I can deduce that they care about is whether it's an ale or a beer. Because an ale is below 4%.
Yeah.
So as long as they can confirm it's above 4%, they get to tax me at a higher rate.
Yeah.
That's all that matters to them. I'm not distributing it in cans or bottles or anything. I have crowlers, but that's in-house. So I don't get it. But I send a label in, and I send bottles of my beer in. They test the bottles, document the alcohol, and then I wait for 2 months, 60 days. There's a stack of applications. There aren't that many breweries in this state yet. I mean, there's a few, and they all have labels that they've submitted. What is that, a stack of 200 labels? I could review that in a day. It takes 60 days for the TABC to send you an approval. I have no idea why. No one's explained it to me.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a short-term issue. Once you get it, you're done. You go on your way. You start distributing. Fine.
60 days.
But it just doesn't make sense. I don't like when things don't make sense.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't get it.
That's a common thing we hear, doing these podcasts. That
They need more people. There's one lady somewhere in a small office.
I don't care. It could be a half lady. She could do it I could knock it out in a day. And
I
I would
call little people.
I would volunteer my time to knock it out in a day. But
Maybe
I
they
have
let
no
you do
idea.
it. I don't know if they
I'll
do.
probably get shut down tomorrow because I've made these comments on there.
Well, I don't know how much they listen to the podcast.
Probably not much.
Yeah.
we can just we can play some of that uppity music. Talking.
I'm not that require editing. I'm not doing that.
You're good at that though.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I want
Just
to.
put it on the air.
Yeah.
So, our last beer is the Conundrum.
The grapefruit.
I should probably be careful on how much I give you of this. I mean, some people think it's Rufalin. They lose their memory. My friend Tommy drank a few too many of these, and his wife had to roll him home on our opening.
I just watched part of The Hangover, actually.
Well, that's what we talk.
Yeah.
Call those.
It's on HBO
Call
Go.
these floors on the floor and then the roof.
Yeah, it was on.
It's rewatchable.
It is. It
That
is.
and Bridesmaids and yeah, Hangover are two of the most rewatchable movies.
I was laughing, like literally laughing out loud at that because I'd forgotten how funny. I don't know that I ever saw the sequels,
No,
Hangover?
they're not good.
Yeah.
They're not
No.
worth seeing.
but that original one, that one was great.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the sad part.
when the sequels don't live up to the
Yeah.
original. They can't all be God.
Caddyshack 2.
Oh yeah, they can't all be
Chevy
Godfather Part
Chase
2.
sold out. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Perhaps the greatest.
Greatest
Although
sequel?
Rocky 2 was very
yeah,
good too.
that's probably the two.
Rocky 4 was the best.
It depends on
Empire Strikes Back was probably the best Star Wars film too.
Yeah. I don't know. Rocky.
You gotta like that, but I mean,
Let me think about this. I don't know. Like in a trilogy, though, do trilogies really get the same?
no.
Like Rocky 2 is more of a. It's not a trilogy.
Penta E's.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah.
but Rocky
Sexta.
3 onwards was not. I mean, Rocky 1 and 2 was like sort of a complete story.
Yes. Rocky 3 became almost like a caricature of itself.
Yeah.
but still fine.
Godfather 1 and 2, very complimentary.
Yes. Maybe don't even worry about the third one.
Yeah. I mean, the third one was a disappointment.
Yeah. What's another? I mean, I don't know. No, I don't know. Is there?
I was sorry. I'm about to change. I got something else.
Sure, man. Why don't you just take this podcast and go wherever you want?
All right. Before I forget, we're talking about your kids earlier, and how do they feel about you brewing now? Like oh man, my dad's. They drink beer. What do they? Did they say anything, or they plan on? They want to get in the industry, or
like a big reason why I did this was to connect with my kids, because they are
your kids.
Yeah, and they're coming of age. They're young adults. Full disclosure, I have a 10-month-old too, so I'm
That's
basically
range.
starting over.
Yeah.
But
Way to go.
My 3 first kids, they're into beer. My daughter just got married, and her husband is a big craft beer guy. Like, a big part of this was wanting to connect with them. And in fact, my middle son, he's kind of a free spirit. He's got dreadlocks, gauges, hangs out at music festivals.
And they're all in Colorado still, you said, right? All your
They're
kids?
all Colorado. And he came home one summer and he wanted to make money. He wanted to be an entrepreneur. So he was making these walking sticks where he'd take everything off of the stick and then cover it with epoxy, fill the knots with glow-in-the-dark stuff, put leather around it, crystals, feathers, and he'd sell them at music festivals. And everyone would be like, stand there and hold it in the air and be like all. So I bought his best walking stick, and that was the catalyst for the name of the brewery.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
A lot of grapefruit in this.
Yeah.
A lot of grapefruit. I wonder if this would be okay on the grapefruit diet.
Well, there's no juice. It's not a shandy. It's just meant to get the essence, the oils from the
peel.
The peel. And the challenge is it's hard to be consistent with this one because,
I like it.
Depending on, the availability of grapefruit, you're going to get different flavors. When we're doing this, we got to go around the city and find 100 grapefruit that are acceptable, because you have to have a certain shape to get it to work.
Oh, on the zester. And do you go ruby red, or do you go
ruby red's the best?
Yeah,
ruby red. The tight skinned ones are the best. It's like getting.
What are the Texas grown ones? Those are just like the Texas something.
Good question.
I don't know. I've seen them. I don't know.
I wish I was smarter on grapefruit. I just go up to a grapefruit and I touch it, and is it firm?
Do you thump it?
No,
who doesn't want the inside?
It's not a melon. It's not a melon. What a savage!
I want the tightness of skin.
Okay. Listen. I'm showing my ignorance.
I want this because that's the only thing that matters to me. My biggest challenge is, what do I do with the meat of the grapefruit? Like,
what do you do with it?
Well, I have some ideas. Our first pass, Ramon grew up on a farm. His parents were big canners. So the first batch that we did, he made grapefruit jelly, because we use all the skin for the zest. So you can't make a marmalade. You have to make a jelly.
Right.
And so we had, 20 jars of jelly that we sold.
Cool.
To our beer garden.
Yeah.
Not all that popular.
No.
Probably not something we'll do again. Now we have a couple of ideas. One is a Conundrum Float, where we make a sorbet out of the grapefruit.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
put a couple of scoops of that
into
a glass, and then fill it with the
beer.
IPA.
Yeah.
And the other one is like a slushy, like a, where you do, it's similar to those Slurpee makers that everyone has for margaritas and daiquiris. Do a grapefruit and do a half and half kind of thing like that, where people could put a straw in it and slurp Conundrum with a grapefruit Slurpee.
Yeah, I do it.
These are the ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not huge on grapefruits, but
A lot
I
of people
definitely
are
try
not.
it.
A lot of people are not huge on grapefruits. But
That's
we,
the rumor.
we got a huge inventory of grapefruit juice, and the other one is we do offer for the ladies red and white wine and prosecco.
Okay.
So having a mimosa with grapefruit juice
Yeah.
and Prosecco.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
the Prosecco's not all that popular yet. We haven't found the right demographic that they show up. They like you'd think on a Sunday there'd be a certain number of people that would want. It's like champagne.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that popular. We don't sell that much wine. You know, you get the license that you get, and so we have a brew pub license, and you get to sell wine with beer.
Yeah, it's like a
on that.
bonus.
Yeah. So we're not. You know, there's an urban winery opening across the street,
Oh, cool.
and they import grape juice from all over the world, and then they distill it into wine, or whatever you call winemaking. And so they're gonna have fine wines, all different types. We have 3 wines: a red, a white, and a bubbly one.
Yeah, a bubbly. In a technical
Champagne,
term.
yeah.
Technical term, it's bubbly. The wine crowd. Yeah, they need to. I mean, look, wine's pretty good. There's some good, like, you know, a red wine and a steak or something.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Right. Mike, are you going to the little boys' room? Oh, you're taking pictures? So yeah, I just assumed you. Yeah, you do have some of the you do got some of the what you call it's on your things. Our headphones. These are you got the new fine nice pair.
Oh,
these
it's
are all
very clear.
Yeah, they're all the ear pads. There's a lot of ear miles on these guys, so they're starting to fall apart, and so we got to replace them as we go.
I see.
So a lot of miles,
A lot of technology issues here that scare me.
Yeah, no, I mean it's all pretty simple.
Well, look, so one of the challenges, you build a tap room, you want to have TVs, right? You
Yeah.
want to have music. Okay. So call up a AV, audiovisual company, say, come on in, you know, this is what I want, give me a bid. First bid I got was over $100,000 for some frickin' TV.
No,
Yes.
that's,
Over 100,000. Well over.
That's too much. What do they want to do?
Yes.
Like
They want-
holograms?
I think they wanted a Buffalo Wild Wings video wall. I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
You don't need
It's-
that.
It's upsetting.
you just need a place to be able to watch the Texans.
So this
and the-
scares me. It's like,
Oh, this is like I don't know how much we spent on this, but like we could do all of it with this guy. We've got different scales.
that's what I'm looking for is like simplicity, clarity, quality.
There are some cool stuff like what is the CES festival or whatever out in Vegas or wherever it is right now, all the technology stuff. They've got these cool laser what do you call them? Projectors, laser projectors.
Yeah.
And they only have to be like 7 inches from the wall.
Really?
And like 120 inches.
I
And
want
4K.
I want a big movie screen for our beer garden so
Yeah.
we can watch movies and the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yeah, something like that. I think I don't know how much those are, but
I think it varies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I don't
those
know. Do you ever go to a petrol station? It's just
Yeah.
down the street.
Yeah.
They have a killer big screen TV in the back. They have like a beer garden in the back and kids running around watching, movies. If there's a football game on, they have it on there. It's great.
they've really morphed that because it like when that first opened, it was not like a kid place. It was very much like a
They've
neighborhood.
transformed it.
Yeah, and it's changed a lot. But then that's kind of knowing who's coming and seeing you and changing with the times. It's
Well,
smart.
the owner of that is the owner of Brash.
Yeah, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So he's got a good gig going.
yeah, the one bathroom for the longest time because it's an old petrol station, right?
I love that.
There was like the one bathroom.
Gas station?
Yeah. So
See,
there was
I
like
don't- I don't know. Like I just went through the city process. Like I don't know how he got away with his parking or his bathroom. I just don't know because I'm gonna have a castle for a bathroom, and I have to do so much parking.
Yeah.
It's like parking is the biggest challenge in this city.
Do they base parking on how many potential
Capacity.
capacity?
They do a calculation. Like, what are you going to use this space for? You got 10 square feet of storage. That's one person, one car.
You store people in there.
You got 1,000 square feet of bar space. Well, you could fit 1,000 people in that 1,000 square feet. So you need 200 parking spots.
Yeah.
That's kind of the logic they follow. It's formulaic.
So your parking will be like you said we talked earlier.
Where the beer garden is now.
And what about this spot right here, where we parked on the other side of the fence here?
That is, my neighbor owns that. And so
Residential?
No, he owns the building next to it. So
Okay.
It's a medical bracelet company.
Okay.
So they don't need a lot of parking. But he owns that, and he turned it into a parking lot. And so I actually lease spaces from him to get my requirement.
So
He's a great guy, but he's just like...
we're still able to park there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a parking lot. It's
I hope we're
fine.
not getting towed right
No,
now.
not right now. I'm talking
You're
about.
not getting towed.
No, not right now. But
No, I lease the balance of spots that I need from him, and
To meet
that's how
the-
I got my building permit. This is a bad scene. Like I wrote, it was a bad experience. No one needs to hear about it.
I would, on a nerdy level, I want to, like, you have like a finance background, and
Yeah.
I'd love to hear like numbers and stuff like that at some point if I can get enough beers in you to just
how
out of
much-
my own personal.
Like how much does this take to do? Is that what you're looking for?
Well, no, we don't have to disclose all that on the podcast, but just for my own, like, I get it. I love, like, I want to know so much about.
It takes way more than you think.
Obviously,
it takes
yeah.
a lot longer than you think.
Yes.
And there are choices, and I made a couple of choices. One, I didn't want to borrow money. I didn't want to take on investors.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to lease the location.
Yeah.
so this is all yours.
Yes.
All yours.
That's a big one. Big, huge. Yeah. It's
Like you got to sit for a long time to get that one out.
yeah. It's yeah. I don't know, man. You look at like who is it? Noble Ray up in Dallas.
They just filed, huh?
Filed Chapter 11, which I'm not even sure.
I've been there. It's a cool place.
Noble Ray. I've
Cool
seen their
place.
cans. Right. They have those cans that fit together on the shelf.
I'm just trying to have a man cave. It's a lemonade stand. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to set the world on fire.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't like. I know my personal finance kind of stance, and I'm very, like, no debt, none of that. I got my.
Well, I don't want to have to answer to investors. 'Cause that's stressful,
Yeah.
and I don't want to answer to a bank because that's stressful.
Because they don't drink much beer.
They don't drink it. Well, they're interested. Like I do bank with Wells Fargo, and they're all friendly. Like they just do my cash management stuff, but I don't borrow any significant levels from them.
Make sure you get them out here. Make sure we get them out here. Come on here, Wells Fargo.
I mean, I'm just.
Not as cool as JJ Watt.
I would love JJ to come out.
Yeah. And there goes that bubble again. I like how everybody just like. Yeah, I knew it was happening because y'all's eyes. Just,
I think that's a jellyfish. I think we have an infection in that beer.
no. That's cool.
What's in here?
That's the grapefruit IPA.
Grapefruit. What I'm drinking right now.
Has a sting to it.
Yeah.
I've been stung by jellyfish before, and I would not wish that on anybody. I have
Never.
a place on my back that won't tan, where I got stung.
I get it.
Wait, just on your back?
I,
It's not
You
on
know
your
what?
arms?
Listen.
What about your arms?
Listen. Listen.
Right here a little bit. Right
Listen.
here a little bit.
I know. No.
It was the Menudo joke earlier.
No, look, I'm.
Yeah.
I get.
Yeah.
I'm a pale individual. I understand. But what I'm saying is, there's a place on my back that even at my tannest or burntest,
An extra pale spot.
it just doesn't even burn. Like I can get burned all over, which I did last summer.
Take a torch to you and nothing happen.
I have like a lower back burn from a sunburn.
Yeah,
Never went away.
never went away.
No.
It looks like a bat like ran into my, like a
kinda cool.
flew and like smacked
a
into me.
tattoo.
Yeah, and it was like against the window.
You
and
know what's really
where I got stung by
painful?
jellyfish.
These little valves over here. They're called zwickles.
Zwickles.
Yeah. No, the thing that sticks out. Yeah, that little thing. Okay. They create tattoos like you've never seen. Like we walk around a corner, we get tagged by the zwickle. We call it we got zwickled. Every single person that works with me here.
Has been.
And my wife. My wife has an enormous bruise from a zwickle.
Really?
Ooh, it's
Well,
right.
they're right there at that perfect.
Thigh height.
And they hit you hard. Like I have never had so many cuts and bruises and abrasions.
Yeah.
Oh, and chemical burns. There are some chemicals we use that I am sure that criminals use to burn off their fingerprints.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Like I'm sitting there working with something. I look down and all my fingers are white because I wasn't paying attention, and I have this like parasitic acid or some caustic, cleaning chemical, and it gets on my hands,
Tips.
and they're all white, and like the texture and the fingerprint of it is disappearing. It's getting eaten away.
Now's the
if I
time to
don't
rob
get
the
it-
bank.
it's like if I don't get it underwater fast, I'm gonna die.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Now's the time to rob a bank if
So
there's
we
any.
use some serious chemicals in this industry, which I really wasn't aware of when I started it.
So
What about staying with the industry type thing? You've had a chance to get it. I know you said you've been here across the street to Great Heights.
Great Heights.
Do you
my
get-
favorite brewery.
Do you get any other chances to go out to any other places? Or I know you're
I do. I don't.
right
probably-
now. You're super busy, but
yeah, I mean, I don't.
before this,
But you're like, so we have a Brewers Guild, and so we get out to go monthly to different breweries.
Right.
So, like St. Arnold's
Yeah.
and Eighth Wonder. I love Eighth Wonder.
Yeah.
It's like the close ones, Carbach. You know, despite their choices on cashing out,
right?
Wicked Boxer.
That's-
is a
that's
very cute
about
small
two-
one.
That's Josh's
2
neighbor.
feet from my house.
Yeah.
Well, I love those guys. Like
Yeah.
my wife grew up with them.
Really?
Yeah, they're great people.
Okay, cool. Wow, small world.
Yeah, it's a very small world. Yeah, what is that? Red Fox or
Bearded Fox.
Bearded Fox.
It's right down the street from them
It's a
too.
cute
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, we get around. I mean, this is my jam over here. Great Heights is my jam. Eureka Heights is my jam.
Okay.
I like going to close places.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I know we
I don't get out. My wife doesn't let me get out much. Like I have to tell her when I get on my bike and ride home. Like I don't own a car. I just ride my bike.
Was that your bike up here in the front?
Yeah.
Oh, that thing was awesome.
Yeah.
That
So
thing's awesome.
my wife owns a car, and that's our only car.
There you go.
So
So how many miles do you live from here?
I live 2 blocks.
Oh, 2 blocks.
Oh, that's smart.
It's like
I could
0.2 miles.
I could do a zip line to my front door.
You should
from
do
right
that.
Here.
You should
It's
totally
like
do
the
that.
latitude is perfect. I just have to get over Crowbar and the Jehovah's Witness
Oh, so you're that way.
thing,
they're
and
cool with that, I'm
get
sure.
across and I'm down. I drop in.
Yeah.
But you know, I have a longboard and I have a bike, and that gets me here.
What
That's all
do they
you
call
need.
those things? Like a Freedom Hall? No, Kingdom Hall or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, they're cool with that because they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be fine. They don't like birthdays, but they're fine with.
I wish
Zip
they
lines,
would
I
let
think.
me park in their parking.
Yeah.
They always have open parking.
Yeah.
Can I get some of that wit? The wit?
You got it. What do
I-
you guys want?
wit.
Like,
Yeah, the
we
wit.
got to use it
That's-
up, right?
that's
I need to. I don't
delish.
think I've ever done this during a podcast. I think I need to.
Take a,
I'm gonna hit pause.
okay.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
Yeah, whatever you want to talk about, it's fine. Just saying. It normally doesn't happen, but
I just refilled myself on the wit beer.
oh,
You're still
I know, right?
chewing away.
Too
over
much
there.
talky, and not enough
I'm gonna
sippage.
keep drinking until all the crowlers
So the
are gone.
So you said we only have 6 here in front of us.
yeah.
Only.
I have a couple other that I've worked on. I haven't brewed at a commercial level, so I've made batches of them and.
But
pretty happy.
What about the Sneffels?
Yeah.
Black and blueberry.
Sneffels, black and blueberry.
Milk stout.
So that
Is that
That's
is that
a
is that
night-
anywhere in here?
no, it's nowhere. It's in my head. I've made it on a crafty level. I'm gonna brew it eventually, but so basic. We don't even have a tap wall yet. We have a jockey box that takes 6 beers, and I have 6 beers. So what the heck? I'm
Yeah.
gonna sell these 6 beers. I'm gonna wait on my Nipa, Long's Peach Nipa, and
So that's
I'm gonna wait
not
on
here.
my Sneffels until I've got something bigger that I can sell from.
So there's gonna be 8, but right now we have
There's
6.
gonna be 8 for now, and I've got 53 beers. I can't do them all because you got some that are named Democrat,
That's appropriate.
Lincoln, Harvard, Princeton.
All the
You got copyrights on this stuff.
14ers.
All the 14ers. Like every beer is gonna be a 14er. So
Was 50? What we said? 53.
53, probably half of them are copyrighted names for other reasons.
You can't call a beer Democrat.
I don't know. I'm not gonna.
Maybe like change the
It's
spelling
not-
of it or
one,
something.
One, it's not that interesting.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't want a political slant to my.
Yeah.
So
That's
This
true.
beer's kind of.
I like names with meaning, and so it's just a creative challenge. Like,
Yeah.
let's get
Yeah.
a mountain name. Let's combine it with a beer that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's all it
No,
is.
I like it. I like the fact that
I've got this branding guy that is awesome. My daughter was college friends with him, and he went to New York into advertising, and he's like, I just on the side, I just want to like help you with branding a brewery. and he is brilliant. Like, I'm getting the best deal on the planet.
Yeah.
He does all the mountain sketches. He came up with all of the look and feel. Like, I tried to do it, and if you should have seen my early work, it would have been embarrassing. And I feel like I'm pretty good at this stuff because a big part of consulting is visual presentation. And if you spend enough time in it, you get pretty good at it. I cannot hold a candle to what he's been able to do. I mean, these mountains are beautiful, the font, all the little details.
Yeah, those labels are nice.
The stick itself, he came up with all this.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, when I see somebody do something like that, and how when I've tried to do it, I'm like,
yes.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a child.
There's certain things that I don't have the capacity to do.
It is my daughter. Like, she graduated in marketing and other things from CU, and she's like, Dad, you need help with this. And she said, I have the perfect guy. And it's like
That's good.
She has one of the most valuable contributions to this whole endeavor. Was she hooked me up with her friend, who is a brilliant branding guy.
There's something about a brewery, like especially like for most dudes are gonna be like, yeah, I'll help you.
Yeah.
It's like there's something like innate.
But you go to a craft brew aisle in a grocery store and look at the can. I mean, there is so much oversaturation of everything. And so I came in as like, I want it clean, simple, understandable. You look at it, and like the stick is like, this is a walking stick thing.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because there are so many brands.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to go with the more complicated, more?
But you can't. The human mind cannot differentiate. Like St. Arnold's is very complicated.
Yeah.
So compare that to some other, like, I don't know, like, you see busy colors and busy pictures. Mm-hmm. Your mind loses the ability to remember that. My goal is, you can see the stick, that's a walking stick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a thing that used to not be a thing, but now it's a thing. Like, how is this going to look compared in the whole sea of all those logos and all that?
And I don't even have an intention to can or put in a grocery. I mean, that's not a goal of mine, but it still has value no matter what. It's like you close your mind and you close your eyes and say, I can see the stick, I can see the logo, I can remember the brewery.
Yeah.
How many of these the flight glass
enough to serve
on a busy
Sunday
night
crew.
Yeah, I like how I was looking at the stickers. I don't know if you saw me.
Yeah,
I see they're all labeled.
Yeah, well,
so it's easier to put them on.
It was just like trying to identify the beer. We started with doing it in the base, and they all washed
kept
off.
Coming up. And I could appreciate that because the girlfriend, she likes to get flights, different places, and
she wants to know what she's drinking.
Exactly. And sometimes she's like, did she say or did he say that was that one? No, it was. They switched it. Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
but when you label them and you put them like that,
that's
it takes the guessing out and the drinking in.
People sit there and they stare at this and they sip and they evaluate and they call you over and give you feedback. I mean, that's really
I appreciate
important.
that.
I had an interesting moment with my mother-in-law. She's a wine drinker mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Loves her margaritas. My father-in-law makes some of the best margaritas in the world. Big Mike margaritas. But no, Big Mike, not just Mike. But
Big Mike.
Here lately, she's been asking me about beers and stuff. And I'm like, oh,
she's trying to get out that box.
Here we go. Well, we went to St. Arnold. We got a flight. She's like, what should we get? I'm like, oh, here we go. And it was like the coolest thing to be able to see her experience beers for the first time and stuff like that. And it's like, we've connected on a whole nother level. It's been
that's cool.
Yeah,
I love her to death. You don't really appreciate, or you don't really hear normally with the mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Well, I should have expected, because she was a kindergarten teacher, but then her ringtone was Riding Dirty.
My sister's a librarian, and that's the same. It's like you get them in a crazy environment.
Oh yeah, teachers
and librarians.
I can't even talk about what I heard from the teachers' lounge yesterday when I was in the school. Them all on their lunch break.
What were you doing in a teacher's lounge?
I was.
What can I get you?
Well, I know what you were doing.
Actually, Miss Rosie had me cutting out letters that were laminated or something, but I was right next to the teachers' lounge hearing their lunchtime conversations. Which one is that?
The porter.
Porter.
Yeah, you can put me a little more in there. That porter smells like when you talked about your dad on the Coleman and all that.
Yeah.
There's there's almost a smoky.
Yep. A
Little
bit.
like a hint,
fire, yeah.
like a post, like not straight on smoky, but like the
You get a blanket, you sit down in a
Something.
chair, the fire's going.
yeah,
Get that marshmallow and drinking that beer.
little
Oh,
mellow
yeah.
marshmallows.
That's good.
Good memories.
Yeah, no, I mean that's good stuff, but you have to do it right.
Yeah.
Can't listen. We've got a fire pit in my backyard, and I've seen like when the girls bring friends over. I've got my girls like we've got these telescoping, marshmallow holders and everything.
Oh, wow.
Like really good stuff. Like give you a good length, so you can keep
Just
rotating.
stay away out of the fire and
Yeah, so you can get good angle.
yeah.
And get that good golden brown, crispy on the edge, but
Yeah.
not burnt. And then some of these kids come over and they just burn the shit out of them, and it's like,
There's nothing worse.
Well, they're not
Someone
paying
just
attention probably,
Lights
huh?
their marshmallow on fire,
Yeah.
so you got a cold center and a charred outside.
yeah, that's the word. That is like the word. You've ruined.
Tells a lot about a person.
It really does.
If you have a golden brown marshmallow with a liquid center,
yes.
I might hire that person for any role.
I'd let them do my taxes,
yes.
like right now. Like I know you're
Yes.
going to pay attention to detail.
Yes.
You don't know anything. You don't know basic
Be careful
methods.
not to catch it
figure.
on fire, and you cook it until the center's
Yeah.
moist.
Yes. Yeah. If there was a good way to really get the chocolate a little melty, you need some.
S'mores construction, biggest challenge in camping.
Yeah, the chocolate always is
Like,
is the hardest part to get soft.
Do you
can't-
want to bring in like the specialty tool that like
No, that's cheating.
It is a little bit, right?
Wait, what's the
You
specialty
have-
tool for chocolate?
You have a marshmallow, a graham cracker, and a cube of chocolate.
Okay.
Okay. You figure out without a special tool
Mm-hmm.
how to make that a perfect s'more.
What do you mean without a special tool? Just by your hands?
No. I don't think you have to use your hand.
No.
Well, I mean, set it on something.
Here's what
Like,
I
do
would.
you mean?
Here's what I would do. Okay, so if you have if it's foil wrapped, okay.
Those three things in foil.
No. Well, the chocolate's foil wrapped. Maybe put that on the edge a little further to get it soft. So that
Indirect heat there?
Yeah. So when the mellow crisps against it mushes that outer, and like you got the inside of that
Yeah.
chocolate like
The
nice
best-
and gooey.
The best is if you're right. The chocolate is melted but still in form.
Mm-hmm.
The marshmallow is golden brown. The two crackers are warm but not burnt.
Warm, but yeah.
And you crush the marshmallow on top. So
You
the
get that-
molten sugar inside sits on top of the chocolate, liquefies it. Now you have a sandwich of perfect
Yeah.
quality.
Yeah.
And
That's
it
Bite it,
takes-
you just get that
takes
middle.
patience, and I've
it-
never met a boy that can manage that.
And
It's
no-
always girls.
Yeah, they're not.
They're science.
Anybody like under like 18 and a half, probably under 25. You got to have a full frontal lobe to really take that on.
You're definitely cutting all this stuff out of the podcast.
No, it's staying. This is some of the
completely worthless.
No, this is some of the best.
no, this
S'more
this
talk.
stays.
S'more talk is we're going to devote like 17% more s'more talk this year.
To the podcast. Okay.
But you want a little of the smoky on there too, so you got to
yeah.
be cognizant of what wood you're using, that sort of stuff too.
Yes.
You can't throw plates or
No
cans.
garbage.
Yeah, my
Paper
wife.
products.
My wife gets a couple, like 3 IPAs in her, and she's like, let's burn the cans.
Oh,
No, we can't do s'mores now. They got green flames.
Yeah.
Can't do that. I don't even know what that is.
no.
That happens in my backyard. Like, we'll bring the
gosh.
TV out, watch a movie. Everything's fine at first. Then everybody gets careless, and then we get crazy, and people start burning plates and cans and whatever, plastic around
Was this
the...
you or her?
It's her. I don't do that. You know me. I'm too... No, I would never.
You could do all those things.
I would never do those things.
But you could. So I'll be looking.
I have the capacity, sure.
Yeah.
I know me. There's a monster inside, and all of us.
Yeah.
I know I'm capable.
What I don't understand about Texas is hunting.
Well,
Hunting.
you just shoot stuff. That's it.
No, yeah, no, that's a big
like,
thing.
I
That's a
worked
big
with a
thing.
guy, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going hunting."
Should
this
be big in
weekend."
Colorado too, right?
Well, they hunt in Colorado, but I'm just saying it's a little different.
Okay.
Like, and I'm just
They don't
talking
shoot hogs
from-
outside of a helicopter.
Well,
In Colorado.
so a guy that I work with said he's going hunting this weekend. I'm like, "Oh, great. Where are you going? What are you going to hunt?" He's like, "I'm hunting hogs." Mm-hmm. We capture them in a box, and then we surround it with guns, and we shoot the box.
No, I never heard of that.
You've never no.
You have never heard of that?
It's a hog trap. You can get them at Academy.
Wait, you trap the hog and then you shoot it?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they shoot it. Most of the time they shoot it because you can't get near them because they'll rip your arm off.
But
You
if they're in a box, a trap.
you can stab them. You can try to stab.
Yeah,
them.
like knife it or I may have to shoot it. Okay, yeah, never mind. Okay, that makes sense.
And it was perfectly okay with him. I'm like, well, that's not really hunting.
No,
like,
that's not
hunting. Is creeping up on a beautiful deer and like
From your
taking
stand.
and shooting them from a distance where it takes accuracy. No,
skill.
It's like, no, we walk up to the box and we all point our guns at the box and we shoot the box.
Oh no, just one or two
That's
rounds.
just just trapping. I'd call that trapping.
Lead poisoning your.
It's
which
off
one?
the ESB.
Oh yeah,
Since you're the ESB fan.
yeah, cool. That and the pale, they're both in the porn.
You need a refill too.
I need this one.
You want?
Which one are you
Yeah,
doing?
you can.
Oh, the
Saison.
Saison?
You can finish the Saison.
The hogs, man. That's people shoot them out of helicopters. There's videos. You can go on YouTube. And
I've been hog hunting one time with my dad on some of my mom's uncles down there in South Texas, and I saw a flock of. Well, no, they're not called flocks, but I'm calling it a flock just for my story.
Yeah.
A flock of hogs in my line of sight. Probably about maybe 50, 75 yards down. It's like, no, I'm not going to shoot. I'm not going to shoot. I don't. What if I shoot and I scare the deer away? I'm not going to shoot. But there were hogs like this. Like
everywhere.
like I'm thinking I'm like thinking one shot I could have like taken out 3 if it'll went whatever. That's what I was thinking.
It's a
at the
Robin
time.
Hood movie.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna. So I never pulled the trigger, and I never saw a deer. I probably could have pulled the trigger, and maybe got me a hog.
Yeah.
I don't really like killing animals unless they're mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Flies. Flies and mosquitoes.
The hogs are like the way they have like 3 litters a year. We can't keep up with them. There's so
So population control, that's valid.
yeah. Population control. I shot one 170 yards off. It was like on the move. I was pretty proud of myself. I couldn't do it again. I got pretty lucky. I had my brother-in-law's like this awesome sniper scope. He has an excursion. Remember the Ford Excursions? And he had a box on the top where you could drive it as like a safari type thing. Yeah. And so you stay out there on their land that they have. So that was pretty cool. Andy, we've been going a while. Do you have a?
Yeah. Well,
I could do this all day.
We've been wandering for a while.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's bring it back around. We'll leave the hog talk. Maybe next episode.
Yeah.
We'll come back next week. What are you doing next week?
There you go.
I will say this: that if you had some, let's say, boar chops or something like that,
Some sandwiches would be awesome.
pulled pork sandwiches
We could go all day.
with an ESB or the pale ale or something.
So do you get the food trucks? Food trucks here are they? I know you said you're open right now, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Mm-hmm. Are they different food trucks for the weekend or
Well, we've got
each day?
It's we have one relationship that does barbecue. They want to come. They want to come all the time, but we're still dating. We want to figure out who we like.
Don't get tied down.
Great Heights has the best. Purple Flower is like the best pizza in town.
Do they?
Cute couple, and when we don't have a food truck, we put their menu out, and they're awesome.
But are they set up right there in front of theirs?
Yes. So
we have to walk over there.
literally walk across.
Yeah, okay.
You have to walk all the way.
When
Yeah.
when Brad and Erica both work, like Erica has her own job, and Brad's like the pizza guy, so he's like pumping out the pizzas. If he's there by himself, then people have to walk across. If Erica's there, she'll run it over.
That's pretty awesome. So literally, like, since you're right across the street, you got options.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
So you could always get a pizza. Mm-hmm. Except, it's funny. They like she's a big Pittsburgh fan, and so for her birthday, he bought her the killer playoff package, VRBO, restaurant reservations, tickets to the game, and then Pittsburgh failed to make the playoffs. So they're gone this week because they still went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They're basically vacationing in Pittsburgh in the winter with no football game to go to.
And that was the point of the
Yeah.
vacation.
The goal was to go to a playoff game.
I wonder if the
Right.
Penguins are playing.
She doesn't love. She loves the Steelers. That's her team.
Steelers and Steelers only.
She's from South America, and she for one reason or another she fell in love with the Steelers.
It's a funny thing.
It was hilarious. So they're not there this week, but the rest of the time, basically, we have a great relationship with them, and then we're trying to figure out,
Just trying to get some different partners.
who we like.
Okay.
Well, there you go. So options: food trucks here, food trucks there,
Yeah.
food trucks everywhere.
This is a mecca. We're gonna have an urban winery, Great Heights, Walking Stick, Petrol,
Crowbar.
Crowbar. You can get anything you want. You want to play volleyball and drink vodka?
Yeah.
You go to Crowbar.
We went
you
there-
want to drink wine? You go to Urban Winery.
Urban Winery.
We went there across the street here, Crowbar. I think it was I won't say July 4th. It was a morning thing. They had a mimosa thing. Mm-hmm. And the girlfriend and I went with one of her girlfriends, and we just...
Kate, I mean, she's got a name, sir.
Drank mimosas, and then I had to go to work, and they stayed in freaking probably killed all the mimosas they had.
This is my favorite bar in the city.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Like, we play... The beauty of it is Monday through... Well, Sunday through Thursday, they have league volleyball games. So every night they're busy.
You in a league?
Yeah. I'm in a league. I'm a beginner. My wife's very good, so she plays with me just to make me
Feel
get
good.
better. And then she plays with the
So
good team.
it's beach, right? It's 2-on-2?
It's three. It's fours.
Fours, okay.
For like yuppie, evening professional. It's fours.
Okay.
Evening.
And they get good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good teams. But so every night of the week when all the other bars are dead, Crowbar is on fire. It's packed. The
Yeah.
parking lots are all full. Every parking spot is taken. On Fridays, they get dead.
Fridays.
We open. Great Heights opens. Like, we fill up. There's, like, get all the parking. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's just less demand. Like, you can have open play at Crowbar, but it's not, like, you have to be there.
Yeah.
So, like, every night there's, 6 games going on constantly from 6 p.m. till 11. Mm-hmm. And so just all those people have to be there. And I don't know how much they drink and how much money they spend, but they're there and they fill up the whole neighborhood. But that's low demand time for us. We, I make my money Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Mm-hmm. And there's nobody over there then.
Yeah.
Unless there's football, and that's about to end too. So
Yeah.
it works really well.
Yeah, got like, 3 weeks left, I guess?
Yeah.
4 weeks left.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I say we kind of put a wrap on it here because, I mean, what else do we need to talk? We got hog hunting, we got volleyball, we got England.
We covered a lot.
It's good.
Yeah. I think we.
This is going to be a good re-listenable.
Yeah. Congratulations on everybody making it into
that.
2019. Yeah.
I like that. It's like
Yeah.
rewatchable, re-listenable.
Re-listenable.
Yeah. Right.
Hopefully JJ will listen to this.
Listen, he Twitters us, he tweets us, I mean, not like super regularly, but
He's
like
not gonna hang on for the whole thing, but maybe he'll.
Stop by.
Somebody just let him know.
This is like a 6-hour.
Come
podcast.
on by and let go of that whole Guinness thing and
Try the massive brown porter.
it's delicious. It's delicious, and have a sandwich. Have a sandwich with it.
Have a sandwich. That's
We-
a good
we
way
need-
to end
We
this.
need, we need to find you like a sandwich food truck out here.
Yes.
Out here or something.
An
It's
English sandwich board, like just sandwiches.
Yeah.
Like a pyramid.
Just a
of
bunch of different
sandwiches.
triangles. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
there you go.
Good idea.
Well, I guess we'll wrap it here. So for Andy and Mike, thank you, Andy. Congratulations
Thank you,
on
yes.
having an
Thank you.
awesome brewery and delicious beers, and being right here in the heart of everything here on what road are we on? We're on this. What was this one?
Judaway
Wakefield
and
Judaway.
Wakefield.
Wakefield. Yeah. So
956, right in the middle of the block between Petrol and Caddy Corner.
yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, weather permitting. If it's pouring, we're probably not going to open.
Soon to have
Inside.
and then super comfortable bathrooms.
Yeah.
Mike, you can go
Super
test it.
comfortable.
Just
right now, we have super comfortable bathrooms.
Oh,
You should
yeah.
just come and check out our porta bathrooms. They're beautiful.
And the beer. And the beer.
and the beers.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So
Nice to meet you all.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I feel like I know you really well. I want after this show. I'm gonna ask about beard product. You've got your beard game is super strong, super strong. All right.
Josh's baby beard.
It's not a baby beard. I've had it for for however long.
You know how to trim it. I've never figured out how to do that.
you should get those trimmers, man.
Amanda Brown, one of our friends, says my beard looks like a profanity I cannot say on podcasts, but
You could say it.
because she says I need to trim it, and I don't actually know how, so I just let it grow.
You know what? I like the texture, all of it. You've got good color variation and length
Yeah, well,
and
that's
fullness.
natural.
No, I say go with it. I say don't trim.
I'm not trimming it. I'm ZZ topping it.
It looks good. Looks good. All right. Well, from one, what was it? Well dressed man? No, not well dressed man. What is it? One, whatever. One guy with legs.
Go with it.
Sharp dressed man. From one guy with legs to another.
Nice.
Sorry, yeah, I couldn't.
Salvaged it.
Yeah, salvaged it, sort of. All right. Well, for Andy and TD Mike, Welcome to 2019, everybody. My name is Josh. Thanks for listening. We'll be back real soon. This is InterBrews.
This is InterBrews.
The preceding has been a presentation of Stewed Productions.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this episode of InterBrews. If you did, hey, show us some support. Go to our Patreon page, become a Patreon supporter, and there's exclusive interviews and episodes just for you. If you do that, if you've enjoyed the show, get a little more, and help us go on for another 7 years. It's been 7 years. We want to go on for 7 more. I guess that's a long time. 14 years for a podcast. Has anybody done that? I don't think so. Anyway, show your support if you'd like. We really appreciate it a ton, and exclusive shows. So thank you in advance. And we'll see you next episode of InterBrews.